It's Wake Up Worlds, play-ins day one. Team Liquid are off to a hot start, which means NA is undefeated, baby. But can it last? PSG Talon stomp everything in their path. Who is our day one unsung hero? And what will tomorrow's headline be? Day one of the World Championships is in the books, and we are here to break it all down. It's Wake Up Worlds. To Wake Up Worlds, our ESPN Esports Worlds program. I'm Artem, your traffic cop. I'll make sure things go smoothly throughout the entire month. And my esteemed colleague, the one you're here for his opinions, the one you're here to watch, and the one you're here for the hot takes, the one, the only, Tyler Theon on Fire Erzberger, who is very, very happy right now.
Oh, Arda, it feels so dang good. Every day for the last 2 weeks, I've been tweeting, NA's undefeated at Worlds. September 14th, NA still undefeated at Worlds. September 22nd, NA is still undefeated at Worlds. And every single day, I have people coming to my mentions, making fun of me, saying, NA's going to lose day one. Team Liquid's going to get stomped by Mad Lions. You're going to cry. You're going to be sad. No. NA is still undefeated at Worlds. It's September 25th, and the World Championship is fully on, and North America is undefeated, my friend. And this might be the peak of my happiness this entire tournament. If I know NA well, Team Liquid is going to lose to the Legacy Esports tomorrow, and I'm going to be crying. So this is my one day. I get to sit here in my chair and feel some sort of admiration and just joy of the LCS region. Because for one day, NA has a win and EU has a loss. So it feels dang good, Arda.
Tyler, for today, maybe today only, NA World Championship. Cheers, buddy.
I mean, it's us and PSG, baby. It's us and PSG. If the Worlds ended right now,
that's the final.
If Worlds ended right now, God forbid, it would be Team Liquid and PSG as joint champions. So it feels good to be in the driver's seat.
So we got a lot to talk about here. And like I said, Tyler and myself will be here with you every step of the way, whether you're watching us on Twitch, the ESPN app on YouTube, or on Twitter. Thank you very much, Wake Up Worlds. We will be here every step of the way until we crown a League of Legends World Champion. First of all, let's talk about the championships themselves. The fact that we're even here, the fact that we're playing in a Shanghai bubble, the fact that all of a sudden there's a pit of doom inside the Shanghai studio. I mean, I thought the presentation was fantastic, Tyler.
Oh, it's so awesome. And like, I just have to reiterate, like I've said so many times, I mean, you look at so many different esports and like Dota, the TI is postponed until 2021. We don't even know if it's going to be in 2021 if COVID continues. The CS major got canceled, not going to happen in Brazil. No major for the second biggest esport in the world, Counter-Strike, in 2020. Overwatch League finals are being played in hotel rooms in South Korea. There's no LAN. They're going to be playing in hotel rooms, Arda. We are in a fully functional world championship with, a green screen 4D, pit of doom where these teams are actually playing face-to-face. And it's outstanding. These teams are quarantined. They've gone through the quarantine stage. Thankfully, no players have been, contracted with the virus. Like, it's happening, and these teams are playing, and it's amazing. Not just the games themselves, which were very enjoyable, but just the fact that we are able to watch League of Legends, the World Championship in this day and age, in a live format is incredible. And they're talking about maybe fans being eligible, a limited amount of fans being eligible for the October 31st final in Shanghai at the Pudong Stadium. Like, it's incredible. Like, I have to give it, I give Riot a lot of crap, and deservedly so, a lot of times, and so do the fans, and they should, you should be beholden to the almighty creator. But for this one time, I have to tip my hat to Riot and say, I'm happy that we have Worlds. I think in this time and age where we are stuck inside, this is something that we needed, me and you included, and I'm just happy we're watching the highest peak, League of Legends possible in the Shanghai bubble over a pit of doom, which is it's not something I thought I'd be saying in 2020.
And we already had one casualty. I think there was one coach that actually stepped over the line.
Yeah.
So to pull the curtain a little bit, I actually asked this question to Reyes. You can watch this interview on our YouTube channel /ESPN Esports. I asked him, so there's a marker, right? Like when you go and bow. And he said, yeah, they explicitly told us there's a solid line. If you step over the line, it's going to appear like you're falling to your doom. So... and apparently the studio has, like, it's not necessarily green screened, which I found very impressive. They just took the regular studio and dressed it up the way they did in AR for the broadcast, which is impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about what else is going on. Obviously, the big topic at hand for Tyler and I anyway is the fact that Team Liquid defeated Mad Lions in their opening contest. Mad Lions did go 1-1. They did look a little shaky, Tyler, but when we look at the TL versus Mad Lions matchup, are you crediting this more to TL being better on the day or Mad Lions just not being up to par?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be a straight shooter for you, Arda, and you, the fans. Is Team Liquid a mechanically better team than Mad Lions? It's debatable. But I think I'm seeing this outrage right now on social media being like, oh, Schalke, no fear should have been there. Oh, we should have set someone else. Oh, we can't believe we set Mad Lions of all these teams. And it's like, this team, its most veteran player has 2 years experience. Team Liquid has 2 world champions on the roster. Look at the roster Team Liquid has. Every single one of those players except for Tactical have made the top 4 of Worlds before. When you look over at Mad Lions, 4 of those players have had what? 8 months of stage experience? Almost no stage experience in general just because of the 2020 and LEC. It's mind-boggling that people are already, pushing the trigger and saying Mad Lions suck. It really just comes down to the veteran leadership and just the experience of Team Liquid. And Mad Lions is a team that needs to snowball early. We've seen this in the LEC where if they don't get off to a hot start, they have trouble getting the motor running. Team Liquid was able to fend them off, get to that 10-minute mark of a 0-0 scoreline. And then we saw some small mistakes. I'm not gonna lie. Shadows Evelyn probably shouldn't be making another entrance at Worlds. That was not the greatest performance on the champion in either of the games. And then Oromi in the top lane got bested by Impact. And it happens every single year, Arda. Every single year.
Is that the World's buff?
It's the World's buff. It's the top die buff, Arda. We all sit here and we all look at Impact and we're like, this guy's old. He can only play tanks. He doesn't have the he can play weak side okay, but he's not really a game changer. And we all just overlook him. We always say, go away, old man Impact. You make $1 million per year. Your heart's not in it anymore. And then every year, without anything showing up for it. Like his solo queue isn't showing that he's amazing. It just every year at Worlds when it actually the games matter the most, Impact opens up his eyes, says it's time to dominate, and top die happens. And this time again gets that solo kill to kind of stop the bleeding that was the early gold league from Mad Lions and kind of stabilize the game. So for me, it's all about the veteran leadership of Team Liquid. I'm not saying Team Liquid is a better team than Mad Lions, but I think for a day one world championship, if I was going to pick one of these teams to bet on, it was always going to be Team Liquid because they have that veteran leadership.
So I've been hearing a lot about how the world's meta, Tyler. Jungle is definitely a focus. Broxa was definitely a focus in this one. I know we're going to talk about Tactical in a little bit as well, but he got his comfort pick. He got Lee Sin in this matchup. Were you surprised that Mad didn't ban Lee Sin?
No, and I don't think Lee Sin had a huge deal to do with Team Liquid winning. I don't think he did terribly. It wasn't like Shadows Evelyn, which I thought was actually a detriment to his team. His impact in the early game was pretty irrelevant. He had a few nice tries in the bottom lane. They tried to get something going, but really it was the top die moment of Impact getting that solo kill on Mordekaiser. It was, Jensen going bot lane, getting Tacticals those 2 kills to get him ahead. And it really was just him being a cog in the machine in these team fights. He performed admirably in these team fights. He was getting his kicks off. He was doing well. But I was hoping for the 2018 Brox that would just take over the early game and bust through the door and Team Liquid would ride out, showing us this new early game style. But this was a lot more of just Team Liquid being Team Liquid. They had a hyper-scaling AD carry. They got Tactical fed, and when Tactical got his kills and got his gold, got his items, got his IE, he popped off. And I cannot say it so many good things about Tactical. He played fearless, and I always knew he was a mechanically good player. Like, all these players at the world level are mechanically good players, but for him to show such fearlessness, ice in his veins, I would say, flashing forward on Twitch in these moments where if he loses, if he flashes forward and dies, he's a joke. He's a meme straight away. It's the Cody Sun situation all over. If he fails in this moment against an EU team, he's never hearing the end of it. But it didn't matter to him. He made it happen. He made those big plays. And I have to give him a lot of credit, not only top die impact on the top lane, but Core JJ as well. There's no better Secret Service member in the world right now than Core JJ, because he protected his boy like the president. He made sure that Tactical was going to get through that game and get through his items and be able to pop off when needed. So, again, the two world champions, Impact and Core JJ, showed up on day one, and I don't think the European fans or fans in general should be looking down Mad Lions. You lost to two world champions, a very good mid laner in Jensen, Broxa, who's a top 4 finalist before, and Tactical. I think people now are going to look at Tactical the same way you guys have to look at Carzzy and other young prodigy, 80 carries and young players. He's a real talent, and I think this tournament is going to be a really big one for Tactical's future. I don't know how far Team Liquid can go, but the experience that Tactical is going to gain through this tournament is going to be invaluable for the future years.
Tactical went 5-2-14 on Twitch, first time he played Twitch in pro play. And yes, he did have some Secret Service detail, but I mean, hey, Core JJ, MVP of the LCS, and Tactical really stepping up as well. For Mad Lions, though, this is an interesting situation to be in, and probably not one that many people had predicted, including Carzzy. You had a chance to speak with him.
Yeah. I spoke to Carzzy a little bit about what went wrong on day one? Was it Team Liquid being too good? Was it something holding him up? He was very, very straight to the point and very, very just roll the clip. Looking forward into the group, do you feel confident against the next two teams you have to face off? Do you think Team Liquid was the toughest team you were going to have to face in Group A?
I definitely think that the Team Liquid was the hardest team to play against. I also think that we are going to play better and better with each game, and we are going to show our potential. So I'm not scared at all. And I think also playing more games is better for us, so we can practice playing on stage.
A final question on Team. What do you think it was about them today that prevailed over you guys? What was the one thing that impressed you the most about Team Liquid's play?
So I think that they were patient and they were waiting for us to make mistakes, which we made, and they abused it, and then we lost. Because once Twitch gets ahead of the curve of the game, then it's pretty hard to play.
Final question before I let you go. Worlds is just beginning for you guys. You're still in the playing stage. You're trying to go to the main event. What do you want to tell the fans out there who are saying, Mad Lions, what are you doing? There's criticizers. There's people saying, oh, Schalke should have come. What do you want to say to the doubters out there and also the fans out there who still believe in Mad Lions? What should they expect from you guys in the coming days?
I would like to tell them that they should wait before flaming us, because we still have a lot to show.
And so NA remains undefeated, Tyler. Here's my question to you. How shall we celebrate the World Championship win?
Oh, man, I am going to celebrate with a long, long sleep after this show, because our sleep schedules have been flipped upside down. I am now waking up at, 9 p.m. in the evening for 1 a.m. games. And tomorrow we have 7 games, Sarda. We have 7 games tomorrow. It's going to be a marathon tomorrow. But for tonight, I'm just going to be – I'm prideful. And no jokes, no memes. Okay. I'm prideful of what LCS showed. I am prideful of what Jat, Impact, Broxa, Jensen, Tactical, and Core JJ showed on that Rift today, because they played really well. They play to their strengths. And no, it was nothing different. It was nothing new. They didn't stomp a team in 17 minutes, but they impressed me. And Tactical especially, he's a talent to watch out for. And I've been on the hype train the entire year, but even me, who's been on the Tactical hype train, choo-choo, going to Worlds, going to the groups, going to all that, I'm so impressed, and I'm so happy to see them playing this way, and I am so ready for them to disappoint me tomorrow when they lose to Legacy Esports. I am so ready for my heart to be broken tomorrow when they lose to Oceania.
Well, that remains to be seen, but if there is one other team that is certainly collecting members on the bandwagon, maybe even leaving LGD Gaming's bandwagon, it is PSG. After a very, very impressive 2-0 start, PSG talent, including a victory over LGD Gaming that basically nobody saw coming, they start 2-0 in Group B. Extremely impressive stuff here. What stood out for you the most, Tyler?
I was so impressed by their chemistry, which maybe I should be super surprised by, because some of these players have played on the same team before, and this is like a Taiwanese super team outside of their AD carry D. And D was the biggest surprise for me, right? He hasn't played professionally since 2019. He hasn't played in the Tier 1 Taiwanese or Pacific League since 2017. He's been in the Challenger Series before becoming a coach this year for Machi. And he was a last-minute sub-in to play in the World Championship. Almost any situation you would think of this is that the guy's going to get rolled, right? He's going to get destroyed. But he's played so well, and the entire team, from Uniboy to Kongwei to just everyone on the team, and especially Kai Wing. Kai Wing, just in terms of pure performance, was the MVP of the day. His Bard was one of the cleanest Bards you will ever see in pro play. Every time Rainbow Seven tried to do anything, every time they tried to set up a fight, they were always getting picked out, and their first member they got picked off by Bard was cleaned off the map. They had never were able to get a grip hold in that match. So Kai Wing on the Rakan and the Bard were incredible. It's a story that we're going to think about for years from now, and I think that's one of the things I love most about Worlds. Right, Worlds is where nobodies become somebodies, where superstars become legends, and where legends become immortalized forever. And for someone like D, no one in the Western scene, or even in the general League of Legends scene in general, even in Taiwan, probably wouldn't have remembered his name ever. He was just going to be a coach. He had a middling career as a player. He was a coach on Machi. But this moment, him coming off the bench, coming out of not even the bench, he is coming from the coaching booth to play at the World Championship, not even on his own team, on the rival team, PSG Talent, and to perform so admirably, especially on Jin. It's a story we're going to remember for ages. We're going to remember the story 5-10 years from now about how PSG and this ragtag team with D, a coach coming in last minute, beat LGD Gaming, one of the hometown favorite teams from the dominant 2-time back-to-back Chinese championship region. So it's just an incredible story. This is why I love Worlds, Arda, because you get stories like these that you never knew was going to happen. No one was going to pick PSG to take LGD today. There was always a chance, but I didn't think there was any chance. I thought they would lose their game to Rainbow Seven. I didn't believe that a coach could come from nowhere and even be decent. But he was better than decent. He was so dang good, man. And just this team in general, from Kongwei's, from his Echo in Game 1 to Uniboy's Orion in Game 2, this team played so well and so coordinated that I just have to tip my cap to them. I love Team Liquid. They played great, but the team of the day is PSG. They are by far the most impressive team I've seen in the play-in so far.
Oh, yeah. They turned so many heads, and they're the Cinderella team now.
Oh, yeah.
They have cemented themselves as the Cinderella story of the play-ins, if anything. And just to echo your sentiments about D, I love the story, Tyler, of a coach helping his team make it to Worlds, make it to the big dance, and then getting called in to another team to help them get a rival team in the same region to help them get to groups. Right? It's just crazy.
Incredible.
They won't meet each other in the groups, obviously, because they're from the same region. But imagine if that story, this is extremely unlikely, but imagine if that story ends with PSG make groups, both of them somehow make it out of groups, and then they meet in the knockout stage. That would be an all-time world story. Not that it would ever happen, but.
Who knows? Who knows, Arda? Who knows? Who knows how
things have happened, right?
Stranger things have happened. Albus Nox Luna made quarterfinals in 2016. Nothing after watching what happened yesterday. Who knows what's going to happen? Things happen so quickly at Worlds. Metas can shift on a dime. But I'm just so happy that this team that a lot of people were overlooking, and we overlooked, we ranked them low in the power rankings because we didn't know what these players were going to be. And now we're in this really funny situation where D plays tomorrow versus the Unicorns of Love, and then the 27th when they play V3 to end their group stage, Unified, their general starting AD carry, who's a very good player, one of the best players on the team, along with Kai Wing. That is the strength of PSG Talon, is going to come back. And then if they qualify, if they go 4-0, if they beat Unicorns of Love and they beat V3, they are automatically into the group stages where they will be bringing Tank and River back, their two South Korean imports, over Uniboy and Kongwei. And that's where it becomes interesting. That's where the story becomes very, very, I don't want to say awkward, but it's going to become very interesting if this team somehow 4-0s their group, and then half of the team gets switched out. Two of the better performing members on the team.
So let's catch everybody up on what the options are here too. So obviously there were some visa issues for certain players, which led to the 3 substitutions, including D needing to play for PSG Talon. So now we are hearing that the 3 players have gotten their visa situation resolved, and now they're able to come to Shanghai, properly quarantine, and join the team. Now my question here is, what is the protocol? What if, hypothetical, on paper, certainly the original team would probably be the best scenario. However, do you also think about riding the hot hand? What if this team absolutely dominates and the momentum is at an all-time high and now they're heading into groups? What are the options that PSG are faced with? Is it an automatic we have to go with the original team?
I think it's automatic. They have to go with the team that they qualified for. These were emergency subs. The only reason they were able to get Uniboy and Kongwei, and D for that matter, is because these were emergency visa subs and they came last minute. If all the other players have their visas cleared, it would be they would have to play at the starters that got them there because there would be no more case of an emergency, which makes it so ultra interesting, right? Where we could see PSG Talon destroy LGD, destroy V3 Esports, destroy Unicorns of Love, make it 4-0, then go to groups, and then we will never really know how strong this Taiwanese super team could have been because we will have this different team, which is drastically different when you put River and Tank on the team than, 2 Taiwanese-born players who can communicate well with the entire team and who have been excelling from what we've seen. It's a very, very strange situation where we might have a what-if story forever, where if they go 4-0 and then Tank and River come back and Unified come back, I think Unified and D I don't think is that big of a change. I think it might actually strengthen the team. They're going to have a lot more bot lane agency with a Unified with Kai Wing in the bottom lane. But Tank and River coming back, it really sucks for those 2 players, right? Because it's not their fault. They went through the protocol. This is when their visas are getting cleared. They'll be cleared for the group stages, but it's always going to be a what if. How strong could this PSG Talon team be if they could play as a 5-stack in the group stages? So I'm excited to see how they play the next 2 days. I'm excited to see how D plays in a Swan Song tomorrow versus a very, very strong Unicorns of Love team. But it's going to be very, very strange in a few days when we're talking about River and Tank possibly coming back for the group stages, and it's not the PSG team that we've seen dominate and dice up LGD gaming.
Just imagine PSG make groups, they fizzle out with the new team, though.
Yeah.
Like, that would be such a heartbreaking situation if you're a PSG Talon fan. Neymar's heart would be broken.
Neymar and Mbappe would be drastically sad from this moment, but I'm going to enjoy as it is because right now, even if PSG Talon does flame out in the group stages or have BU, like, this is a story that we're going to remember for a long time. And no matter if tomorrow's D's last game or if, he gets another game because the Unified thing doesn't clear, I'm excited to see the coach, the old man, 26 years old, one of the oldest men in the competition,
let's go,
bring it one more time as a coach coming off the bench. I'm just excited to see how the story unfolds.
Big boomer energy, baby. You gotta love it. Speaking of energy, if you're looking at the standings, INTZ are at 0-2, but many people would say they really shouldn't be because they had some very impressive play. Not necessarily at all times on the Rift. However, the 0-2 is misleading, particularly when we get to our unsung hero of the day, Tyler.
So might be the most embarrassing moment in World's history. It's right up there for some of the worst misclicks, worst plays in World's history. It's top lane, Shadow on his legendary now Evelyn overcommits into the turret. It looks like INTZ is going to get the first blood of the entire tournament on Tay. Their big carry on the Urgot, the surprise pick. Everything's going well. He gets in the kill shot. He's ready to reel him in, grind him into the grinder, eat him up, get that first blood, and he clicks teleport. and he teleports to a minion right in front of himself, leading Shadow to walk away laughing, no clue what's going on. He should be dead meat, and Tay falls on his face in one of the most embarrassing moments you could possibly have. It is like, I can't think of some worse scenarios. Millions of people are watching this moment. This is the first time Tay is being, shown to millions of people, and what they see is this guy fall directly on his face. But a lot of these times you would see a player tilt. I would tilt. You would tilt, Arda. We would try to FF. We would be like...
Oh, I'd rage quit. I would rage quit.
I'd be like, my computer broke. This wasn't my fault. I'm going to blame everyone but myself. I'm going to try to pause the game. But no, Tay died. It was embarrassing. He couldn't TP back. He lost. He was down 50 CS because of this. It was a terrible situation. But 20, 30 minutes later, he had 9 kills to his name, and he was the only reason that INTZ was even an inch or a whisper to have a chance in that game. They didn't win. They didn't deserve to win. Mad Lions were the better team, even though it was a very sloppy match. But Tay showed up big in game 1. And then game 2, he was on the Vlad. And again, the team rallied behind him. He had some really big moments, but it was Tapoon of Legacy Esports who pulled him apart. He had to deal, the Vlad had to deal with the Camille split pushing, couldn't let them just take the base. And that led Legacy to, 4v4 team fight without the big Vlad. They lost the team fight because of mechanics from Bobby and some of the other Legacy players, Tally on the set. And he, again, was the lone wolf who, tried to drag the team. He was dragging the team back, but he wasn't able to get over the line. So I just want to tip my hat to Tay. Like, Team Liquid, PSG, INTZ is in that picture. They are on the verge of being eliminated. They might be the first team knocked out of the entire tournament. But I have a lot of respect for Tay after today, because a lot of players, very, very good players, world-class players, would have had that moment he had and quit. They would have tilted. They would have blamed their teammates. They would have blamed everything under the sun but themselves. But he stabilized, and he carried his heart out, and he almost pulled off one of the best 1v9, performances we've seen ever at World. So, Unsung Hero of the Day, Tay from INTZ Brazil. They're most likely not making it out of the play-in stage, but I want to see more of Tay. He was really impressive.
Hey, still, CB LOL fans, stand up for your boy. Speaking of that Urgot pick, a couple of fun stats here. Only played 13 times this year across the major leagues. 7-6 record. Bwipo played it most with 4. Tay played it twice this year with a 1-1 record. So, Urgot is definitely, as we all know, not necessarily a popular pick, but Tay doing very well, going 9-2-3, like you said, versus Mad Lions. So if he is the unsung hero of the day, Tyler, I think we know the answer based on how you've already spoken on this program, but who is your player of the day?
Sorry, North America. I love you, but I believe we'll have more chances for me to give NA some
It's not
awards.
The Secret Service?
No, it's not. It's not Corey DJ. It's not Tactical. I have to give it to D. It has to be D. No one who watched today can. There's no one else you can give it to but D. Yes, Kaiwing was the best performing player of day 1 in the play-ins, and everyone should applaud him. Amazing player. But with the circumstances D came into, having not played in the Tier 1 LMS scene since 2017, hasn't played professionally in the secondary league since 2019, who's been a coach, who has gone over to the rival team to, sub in last minute as an AD carry with people he's never played with before, and to perform as well as he did under that pressure, that is something that is going to be, I've said this before, we're going to talk about this forever. This is a moment I believe that we're going to remember Coach D coming in with nothing, coming to the rival team and kind of saving them when PSG could have easily toppled over, gone 0-4, and just blamed, it was visa issues. No one would have blamed them. No one would have blamed PSG if they fell on their face. But no, instead of falling on their face, they had one of the best days ever at Worlds. Coach D, I don't care if tomorrow's your last game. You will always be a legend for Worlds in my heart.
So, obviously, they play on. PSG will be in action tomorrow, and we're going to be in action tomorrow as well. We're going to have a special start time of noon. We're not quite done with the program yet. However, I do want to mention to you that we have a lot of matchups tomorrow. There are a whole slate, including Supermassive getting 2 matchups, Unicorns of Love and PSG as a possible marquee matchup, and Team Liquid in action in the last matchup of the day, 10 a.m. Eastern, against Legacy. But let's talk now about how you can also get involved. ESPN, for the very first time, I believe, has launched an esports predictor. All you got to do is go to ESPN.com/League of Legends Predictor, and basically you can make selections and battle against everybody else. You won't be necessarily battling against me because I think I'm 714th right now based on my picks, which includes, let me tell you just a couple of my picks. Feel free to laugh at my expense, Tyler. I picked Mad Lions. Myself and 82% picked Mad Lions to win Group A. And I also picked Mad Lions along with 80% of people to defeat Team Liquid today.
Embarrassing.
Indeed. And I also picked them to continue to win. And I'm very upset right now as I am ranked 714. That's really bad. That is awful.
I'm in the top 100, baby, because I picked Team Liquid to beat Mad Lions. And I picked. I did not pick PSG Talon to beat LGD. That was my falter there. I think only 4% of people actually predicted that win. So the 4% of those people of the thousands playing at home, congratulations. You are probably in the top 10 for just picking that match alone. But yeah, there's a few of these things I think I come back on. I think me picking Tactical to have more kills than Carzzy is going to come up big. I after today, I feel a lot of confidence in Tactical pulling through as that main ace carry of the team. So I think I'll be in a good spot going into the group stages. I'm not saying I'll be top 10, top 20, but I think the top 100 range for me is a good start, and I think I'll pull it through in the groups and, the knockout rounds.
Way better than how you've done in League of Legends trivia.
I won once.
Wasn't that your own trivia?
Yes, but I won once. Does not matter. Let's move on.
Just a reminder. So Esports Predictor is I put the website in chat. It is ESPN.com/League of Legends Predictor. It is free to play. Feel free to invite your friends to compete in groups. You can make your own custom groups so you can compete against your friends and keep track of who's winning and losing. You can make picks throughout the tournament from the play-in stage all the way to the finals. And you can find the trophy tab on the ESPN Fantasy app as well. If you have the Fantasy app, just look for the trophy tab or go to ESPN.com/League of Legends Predictor and you'll be able to make your picks and probably defeat me and battle against Tyler. Let's get to our next segment, tomorrow's headlines. This is where we talk about what we think tomorrow's big headlines will be, or at least one of them. Here's mine, Tyler, okay? With the debut of my fellow Turks, Supermassive, all right? I'm not trying to be a homer or anything, okay? Not at all trying to be a homer in any way, shape, or form, okay? I'll just put this here. My headline is Turkish delights, Supermassive on the doorstep of qualification.
How's it going to happen, Arda? How's it going to happen? Tell me.
Sorry, I'm a little busy putting this around my... I'm Lee Sinning my scarf here, sorry. It's going to be I believe that this team has some... Well, obviously they have some experience now with Kakao, has been to a stage like this before. NA fans very familiar with Kakao, World fans very familiar with Kakao. They have a lot of players from the Turkish scene that are well established. Armut in the top lane. Zaytnot has been on this team for a very long time, and he was basically the core of the bot lane with Snowflower, who has now returned to Supermassive, and that was a very successful 2018 was their most successful year, and that bot duo really led the charge. And so they've been reunited in the bot lane. They were very successful in summer in the TCL, and I think that they're going to turn some heads here. I think that they've had a chance to take a look at some teams here and what kind of picks are being made, and at least an introduction into the meta. I think it suits them to be able to play in day 2 and have day 1 off to watch all these games. They are a team that prepares very well, and speaking with their general manager. So I think that they might turn some heads, and we're going to wait and see. And then, this scarf is just the beginning, Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, their first match is against INTZ, which I think is winnable. I think we can all agree, chat and us included, that I think INTZ look very beatable. I think Armwood is a very strong top laner who can match up with Tay. I think overall talent-wise, Supermassive should take that game. I think the spicy one is, and if they do this, Arda, you can have your celebration moment tomorrow, just like I'm doing for NA today. It's Mad Lions versus Supermassive. If Supermassive can topple Mad Lions, boy. Oh my God, because that's the only Mad Lions game tomorrow. They would be 1-2 if they lost that game to Supermassive, and Supermassive would be 2-0 if they beat INTZ and Mad Lions. If that happens, if those two things happen, you can celebrate Turkish Delight all you want, because Europe is going to be throwing Mad Lions out of their continent if that happens tomorrow. So that game is, I think, is the circle. The most important matchup tomorrow is Supermassive versus Mad Lions, because that is a really spicy one where it's a must-win for Mad Lions. They can't go down 1-2, but Supermassive is a very tricky team, and I do like the experience. It's very similar to TL, right, where the Supermassive team has a lot of experience behind them with Kakao and Snowflower. And this is the world stage. I don't think Kakao is going to shrink under this pressure. So I'm looking for a classic Kakao performance tomorrow. And if that happens, we might have a celebrating Arda tomorrow's show. So,
and like we said, jungler, very important position in this world's meta, and Kakao, someone who could definitely adapt to the meta and has that experience. So I don't know, the pieces seem to be going in place for Supermassive. I'm not going to celebrate. I'm not going to go eat some kebabs and play my Darbuka drum just yet, but it's on deck. It's on deck, Tyler.
It's possible. Okay? It's very possible. Like, watching Mad Lions struggle against INTZ, if Supermassive come out and play at their peak form, there's no reason why they can't beat INTZ and Mad Lions. If that happens, this group's it's upside down, and Europe's going to be very, very angry.
Speaking of Europe, what's your headline?
My headline is Europe's real fourth seed, Unicorns of Love. And I'm not saying Mad Lions is going to lose to Supermassive tomorrow, but I do think after Unicorns of Love plays tomorrow, I think the Reddit, the Twitter, the social media fans are going to be like, Unicorns of Love is the real fourth European seed. They are the real fourth seed. We don't care about Mad Lions. They're a bunch of rookies. Our real fourth team is from Russia, the strong Russians, Moscow 5, Gambit, now Unicorns of Love. This is the real European team because they have a tricky schedule tomorrow. But if they go 2-0 tomorrow, I think this headline is going to ring true, and I believe it because I really do think Unicorns of Love is one of the better teams in the play-ins. They go against V3 Esports, who've been getting a lot of love. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that V3 Esports is actually quite good, which is a bit surprising since we ranked them last in our power rankings. I was not nearly as impressed by them as some others with their regional final performance versus TFM, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about V3 and how they've been doing well. So I think Unicorns of Love should still beat V3, and then Unicorns of Love will be playing against PSG Talon, another heavy hitter match tomorrow. And just like how Supermassive beats Mad Lions, everything goes crazy. I think Unicorns of Love can beat PSG Talon, and then that just turns everything crazy around in that group as well. So I watching a lot of the Unicorns of Love's games, they're very messy, they're bloody, they're proactive though. And that's the thing that I really do like, is that even when they make mistakes, they're always thinking of the next thing to do. They might die over, a bungled team fight or a bungled dive, but they're never saying, okay, let's just handshake for 20 minutes and try to stabilize. They're always thinking of how they can do the next proactive move, and they're the mechanically talented players enough to do it. So tomorrow, I foresee, I can already see the Reddit threads and the Reddit comments when Mad Lions loses to Supermassive and Unicorns of Love beats PSG Talent. Everyone's going to go, oh, Unicorns of Love have always been the fourth team. They've always been the real European team. It's never been Mad Lions. It's always been Unicorns of Love. So I'm really excited for Unicorns of Love to debut tomorrow at Worlds.
So speaking of debuts, the last thing we're going to do on today's show here on Wake Up Worlds is a regular segment, a daily segment that we like to call Tyler's NA Outlook. This is where Tyler regales us, informs us, lets us know where his optimism level lies as it pertains to North America. So Tyler, after Team Liquid's performance today in the play-ins, defeating Mad Lions of the LEC, where, pray tell, is your optimism level right now?
I'm 100. I'm 100 out of 100, Arda. I can't lie. I'm 100 out of 100. I could not be more excited about North American League of Legends. From everything I've seen today is that all these games come down to to A-Rams. All these games are coming down to stupid, mindless mid-lane team fights. You know what region is really good at mindless mid-lane team fights? It's NA-RAM, baby. It's North America. When there are these dumb skirmishes mid-lane, it's just 5v5 going down mid-lane, seeing who can win it out. North America's quite good at that. I'm very, very Carzzy talked about that in our interview, is that, yeah, it seems like this meta can fit NA. These 5v5 dumb team fights that have no understanding of wave management at all, it's working. And if that's how this world is going to go, baby, NA can go far. So right now, I am 100 out of 100. We are undefeated. Team Liquid is 1-0. FlyQuest is undefeated. TSM is undefeated. There's no reason for me to be anything below 100. My optimism is at the highest of highs. Team Liquid was the worst North American team, and they beat Mad Lions. What? That means who even knows how strong FlyQuest is? Who knows how strong TSM is? TSM might be the strongest team of all time. Who really knows? All I know right now, the only facts we know right now, Arda, is that Team Liquid is undefeated. They are perfect 1-0. They beat Europe. It's 1 NA, EU 0. So for today, probably not going to be as optimistic tomorrow, but for right now, I'm 100 out of 100. NA is at Worlds, baby, and we're showing up. And if it's NA-RAM and we're going to have these dumb mid-lane team fights that decide matches, NA has a chance. NA has a chance, baby.
I love the optimism. And of course, we are two North Americans, you being from the United States and me being from Canada, now living in the United States. So I'm going to share in your optimism, Tyler. You are wearing the USA headband. You are proudly representing the US of A. And I will share in your optimism. I won't go overboard because we've only won one game. But I do think that this is a cause for celebration. So I only wear one glove at this point in time. Okay? This is as far as I will go as it pertains to my Canadian optimism. Okay? So I join you in the North American optimism. Shout out to Jat, our Canadian coach in Team Liquid. This is as far as we go right now. But believe me, if NA continues on this trajectory, this is going to turn into something a lot bigger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. It's no one's going to like it. It's going to be really, really cringy. It's going to be really bad, guys. But the more NA wins,
you say cringe, I say celebratory. I don't know.
I've already looked at Amazon. Like I've looked at full body suits. I've looked at like Patriot masks, like 4th of July streamers. I'm thinking fireworks in my apartment. Like the farther we go, the crazier it's going to be. For right now, we have a headband. But if we make semifinals or finals, it's going to be 4th of July in my apartment, and I don't care who says no.
That's right. All right, well, that'll tie a bow on our first episode of Wake Up Worlds. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you want to consume every single piece of Worlds content and watch every second of every game out there, including Wake Up Worlds, or you need up to an hour of just everything that happened in one single solitary place, we want to be that place for you. So join us, Tyler and I, throughout the entirety of the 2020 League of Legends World Championships. We will be here with you every single step of the way until a new world champion is crowned. Tomorrow, because of the amount of games, this show will begin at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Tyler's NA outlook might be a little different. Hey, it might be a little higher. We don't know.
105, Dave. We're going above 100. Who knows? But I'm ready. I believe we can win. I believe we can win, Arda.
Don't forget to watch. You can watch us live on Twitch, the ESPN app, on Twitter or YouTube. And we have a bunch of interviews as well. Myself, Tyler, Emily Rand, and Jacob Wolf have been doing interviews, and we will continue to do so throughout the entirety of Worlds. That is on our YouTube channel, /ESPN Esports. One more plug for you, ESPN.com/esports for all of our written content, including a giant oral history of Worlds. And Tyler, you wrote about one of the best, if not the best, series in League of Legends World's history.
Oh yeah, Rux Tigers, SKT, Masses, Gargano. You were there, Arda. I read about how
I sat beside you the whole series.
It's about midnight in New York City. We're in the nosebleeds where our desk is at doing the post game interview of Faker, and there's a mile long line of fans just waiting to see Faker. Not even to talk to Faker, just to look at him close up. And I will never forget New York City 2016 SKT versus Rocks. Hopefully, though, I'm going to say hopefully, that's not the best of 5 of all time after this Worlds is over. I want a best of 5 that topples that one. I don't know if it's possible, but if we can somehow find a best of 5 that's better than that one, this World Championship, this show is going to be bonkers because I always have that hope that we're going to have a series that's better than that one. We haven't had it yet, but every Worlds has a new opportunity. So I'm excited for the next 35 days of badness with you, Arda.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Tyler has been covering Worlds for so many years. It's crazy that, like, the circumstances prevent you from being there because you've been at the last 4 consecutive, right?
Yeah, it sucks. I should be in the bubble. I should be in China. I've been to China before for Worlds. I love China. It's a really fun country to be in.
Yeah.
But again, we're doing it from home. COVID. I'm just happy. I'm just bringing it all back, circling back from the start. I'm just so thankful that we get to be here doing the show, watching the World Championship, 22 of the best teams in the world, duke it out in a LAN format. And that's just awesome. And I am just going to enjoy the next 35 days because this is my Christmas, Arda, and I love talking about Worlds. And I cannot wait for what new pages unfold as the days go on.
I'm going to be opening presents under the tree with you all month as well, man. It feels like Christmas to me as well. Happy esports holidays to everybody. We have only just begun. Again, we are here with you every step of the way live. Tomorrow we begin at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, so that we can have a little bit of breathing room because there are more games than usual tomorrow. In the meantime and in between time, thanks for sticking with us and joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Good vibes and acts of kindness, everybody.